Hello and welcome to Crater Lake scenario number 56 in our quest to play everything in OpenRCT2. Today's goal, 1,300 guests at the end of year 3, park rating of 600. This is a free admission park, which means we're charging for rides, and we've got a lot of real estate. A tremendous quantity of real estate. So, you can't really see unless we zoom in a little bit, but this lake is not very deep. It's only about one tile. If I am correct here, it looks like it's about one. So we shouldn't have problems with these really tall supports like we do sometimes in these lake-based scenarios. So what I'm going to do, not click that, is get this started here. It looks like our entrance is right back here. And we do have a limited selection of things, but you know what we always like to do, and that is to put in a merry-go-round right at the start. So I'm going to stick that maybe right about here. And then, of course, we'll get that turned on for $1. I'm going to go with, I think, yellow cues. Sounds good. Then I believe to get this the way I want it to, I'm going to have to do something like this. I'm going to keep the ash footpath. I think that looks pretty nice. And there we go. Nice and simple. Get people in the door. We also have an observation tower in the car ride if we want. For roller coasters, we've got the wooden coaster, mine train, and then the steeplechase. We got the twist, we got the pirate ship, and then we do have the dinghy slide and the log flume to start, which is good. I'm not building a boat hire that has absolutely no restrictions on it, because that's a good way to have guests get completely lost. And then we have river rafts, which is like, what if a log flume had absolutely no excitement whatsoever and you also sat on a raft? Then, of course, we have all these things. I am going to go ahead and put in an information kiosk for when it inevitably rains and people can buy their $5 umbrellas. And that is about as much as we need to do to get people in the door as soon as they just decide to show up. So I'm going to, based on what we already have available, focus on roller coasters and thrill rides. We can, again, just to get people in, start with a few of these simpler rides. I'm going to leave space over here open in case we want to put a train in to go around the outside. I don't know that that's really going to be a great thing for us to do, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to move this over here. We can have a path come that way. Easiest thing to do, probably just stick that right there. That's set to $1. That's probably fine. Just pop this in like so. Get that there. Let's make sure we've got some benches at every exit. Put in a couple of trash cans. Then we should, before we get any further, hire a handyman and a mechanic. Just so we're good to go. Now we just have to wait for guests to come in. It'd help if I opened the park. I thought it was already open. But now we're good to go. And I do think I'm going to pop in a pirate ship for good measure. Yeah, I'll just... yeah, I'll pop that right there. Let's just get the queue in first. I am going to put a 2-piece queue. This does hold 16 passengers, so maybe we should do a 3. Yeah, let's do the 5. That needs to be lowered. Let's just make that easy for ourselves. Not worry about it later. And then I do have to come out from the exit. Yep, there we go, so nobody drowns. And that'll get us started reasonably well. So seeing that we have 3 years, I'm not really worried about getting to 1,300 guests, but we do have to get people in. We have to start making some money. And we have to get some research done so we can have some better coasters. Because there's not a lot you can do with the wooden coaster for $8,000. I mean, you can. But you can't do a ton. I know we're not going to make a ton of money on these simple early rides. But you got to start somewhere. That's basically just what it is. Okay, Enterprise is a good one. And we're having a rainstorm, so that means people are going to buy the $5 umbrellas. It's a good way to make some cash. But we do only have 50-something guests, so just gotta wait. That's coming on April 3rd, which is today, it looks like, in the game. All right, now Enterprise. We don't necessarily have to build absolutely everything in this area. I do generally like to keep things kind of compact. I'm going to say let's put the exit there. Let's build this just like so. Just have that wind around, have that exit be there. And then that gets connected to there. Let's just open that up. Put in some benches. Alright, now we're going somewhere. Now we're going somewhere. Let's get this back on triple speed. See what this is going to show up as. Well, while we're waiting, remember we have a huge amount of space, so we really can build anything provided we've got the cash. The loan amount we can get up to is 22,000. I would like to keep that in reserve in case we need it later. We're about to get a roller coaster. It would be great to get one of the Wild Mouse ones that's a little cheaper to build, but we won't find out for a little bit what that is. Let's take a look at what we have available to us here. We do have a lot of pre-built designs. We've built most of the good ones before. Let's see. I mean, woodchip is always a pretty safe bet. It's a reliable cash maker. Some of these other custom designs, not really that great, but this one's not bad, but it is $13,000. That one's also 13. I would really like a cheaper one, but that's also good. Yeah, I think, honestly, well, that one said 5. Yeah, you know, this one might actually not be that bad for 5,600 bucks. Let's see. Is there going to be somewhere convenient to put this where it's not going to just be in the way? Suspended swinging coaster. That's not really a great one. Can I put this? No, I cannot. All right. And again, I'd like to keep the outside open so I could put a train there later if I wanted to. But that's kind of the problem with these big round parks, is that you kind of just have to define a space and stick with it. Now, we can just, you know, stick this right over these paths here. It's going to maybe look a little ugly, but it will be a excitement rating enhancer, while also potentially being kind of a pain here to get cues popped in. Because I don't want that to be that high. I want it to be half of a thing. There we go. Yeah, I know this isn't really a great place to stick much, but I think that's going to be fine. I'm going to pop that there. I'm going to pop that there. Take this off at triple speed because we do have a limited time. I just want to make sure we're going reasonably fast here. Okay, 2 trains, 7 cars per train. I'm going to say this is going to be worth at least $4, at least for the beginning part. Let's just have this popped in. I don't think we need to, you know, super wind this thing around. But I do like the idea of having this be just kind of like this. I wonder if I can get away with doing... No, see, I didn't want that. I did not want that. There we go. That's what I was trying to do the whole time. Yeah, I know. It's got no path leading from its exit. Calm down. Now it does. That gives us some space for benches. Of course, we're going to put that in there. We've got 200-something gas, so we're down to $50. That's not going to be forever. But this will help us make some actual cash once this thing has a complete run. People will see the rating on it. Vertical drop coaster is good, but we're not going to have any money. This is the full-size suspended swing, not the mini one. Okay, well, this is still not that great. They're kind of expensive to build for what they are. But it's better than the little tiny one. I'll tell you that much for sure. Let's get this on triple speed again. This one sure does have a lot of chain lifts. I'm assuming they're used in some sort of speed limiting capacity. Yeah, see, now that we have the excitement rating, they're going to pour into this thing. Okay, vertical drop coaster, we still don't have the cash to build, but that is a good ride to have access to. We're going to want this path. I'm going to try to keep this as straight as possible, just go straight to the back. And maybe when we have some extra cash toward the end of the game, we can put in a free train to get from back to front. Not that that really matters, but it's nice to make fun things sometimes. Yeah, let's see. Should I go for a log flume or a dinghy slide? They can be made cheaply. They're not always cheap, but they can be made cheaply, and I don't really have cash. I'd rather take out a loan for something like a good roller coaster. We've built a lot of these. They're not always very good. Like this mess. That's kind of a wild one. But it does take up, you know, not a ton of space. Let's see. That's actually not bad, but it's $20,000, so I guess that means it's bad. Yeah, see, these are tough. These are tough. What is next? Oh, yeah. Now we got go-karts. We're going to be fine. We're going to be just fine. We are going to need to put in somewhere for people to get stuff to eat, which I think would be a great idea to go right here. But that's going to require some cash. I'd like to get the go-karts in first, because you know those are going to be making some serious dough. And we just need one more day to get those. Looks like we're going to be good here in just a moment. Take this off at triple speed. Alright, go-karts, your time to shine. We've got a couple different designs we could just plop in here. Castle carts, this is too long to be a 3-lap. Maybe 2 laps is also too much. This is too simple. I also don't really like having the entrance and the exit on opposite sides of this station, just for the purpose of trying to put paths in when you're in a lake. That thing's huge. That is very much a 1-lap kind of situation, but then the 1 lap is so long that the race winner is going to have to delay everything. So then at that point you might as well make it 2 laps, but then is what it is. I'm going to say let's do without scenery. Let's do castle carts. Design will be built with an alternative vehicle design. May not prefer. It's a go-kart. It's fine. And I'm just going to have to find a location for this. Maybe if I want to rotate this way, what's that going to look like? Okay, that's not great. Well, it'd look better for us watching from this side, but that's probably not how we should try to build everything out, is it? Or do I want to have this come over here? Can't go underground, obviously. I'm gonna do this. No, not like that. Oh, of course, a short $30. Hey, can you spot me $30 after build a go-kart track? Wait, what are you talking about? All right, come on. Come on. I guess I'd put this back in triple speed just so I can get the... Oh, there goes all the money. Oh, the perils of early game RollerCoaster Tycoon when you don't have any cash. All right, that was going here, or was it going here? I'm going to put it here. Okay, I'm going to move the exit over to the other side. And then I may actually want to put the entrance. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what we'll do. Let me click on this. Come on. I'm going to move the entrance there and the exit here. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I want to be able to kind of hide this. Like that. How many 7 cars? Well, you do want to have a long enough queue for your go-kart so you can capture the amount of guests you want to capture, but you don't want it to be... What's the word? You don't want it to be suffocating. If that makes sense. So why don't we... Okay, that doesn't quite... That'll be fine. I'll just do one of those. I clicked on the wrong spot. There we go. And this just has to come all the way up to here. And that could, at some point, be used as another type of path, but I think for right now, it would do us good to have that be a no entry so we don't confuse anybody. We can put a bench if they get... Oh, no we can't. We're out of cash. Too broke to even put a bench down. How about that? I'm going to take that down to 2 laps. Should be okay. Raise the price to... I think they'll pay $5, at least for right now. The throughput per hour isn't really great on this ride, but they're going to ride it. And it will relieve some path overcrowding before we expand to be too large here. Yeah, see, look at this. This is $4, and they are lined up and doing it back and forth. Alright, we got some barf on the ground. That's not ideal. Let's get another handyman in. I'm going to just drop him right over that. There we go. Let's get another mechanic now that we've got a little bit more money. Not like I just hacked it. Oh, there you go. Handyman 2, to the rescue. Just as soon as they spew. Alright, I think we can kind of leave that alone for a little bit. Inverted hairpin coaster. Alright. Once I get, assuming there's not an inverted hairpin coaster I can actually build for $1,000, I don't think there is. I think that's about when we should be putting in shops and stalls here. Yeah, I mean, these can be cheap, but I don't think we're building one for $1,000. And honestly, we don't have to use one of the pre-done things. I just always like to look. Right, let's just bring that out to here. And let's put in some places to eat. So, Burger Bar 1. Not that I ever really change any of this, but if I go ahead and mark it, then we're good to go. Let's put a bench somewhere over here after I finish putting these down. Hat stall would be a nice thing if we randomize those. Why is that flashing? That should not be flashing like that. We're selling hats for $1.50. Okay. Well, they can get their random hat color of choice. Put in a bathroom here, and I will charge 10 cents. So that will pay for itself. We already have one of these, and I think that is going to be good enough for right now. Let's do ourselves a favor and put in somewhere around here a spot where these guys can actually sit down and eat. Just a nice, simple setup. We put some benches, then a trash can in the middle there, so we got 6 benches. We can always expand that later. Now, Steel Wild Mouse is a good one. It's another kind of cheap coaster. I don't know that any of these are actually cheap. They're mostly between $3,000 and $5,000, but we've got some options now. Now that we've got some more cash coming in. Our goal is 1,300. We're just over 400 toward the end of year 1. That's not necessarily a bad place to be. But we do have to kind of wait for all of this to exponentially scale. Right, now just give me the regular looping coaster so I can make the whoop-de-doos and we'll be rolling in cash. That would be great. I don't know how fast we're going to find out. Probably pretty soon. Honestly, things seem like they're going pretty well. We can have this probably go straight out that way if we wanted to cut through. Still got a lot of vomit on the ground. How are we looking on... okay, still isn't going to... okay, classic stand-up. That's not going to be one that's going to move the meter at all. Well, we are kind of reliably making money. I wonder if I could raise this... Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't worry about it. But, I mean, they're willing to pay $5 to go on the go-karts. So maybe if I raise it to 6, are they going to tolerate that? There is some sort of math involved for this. I've just never bothered to figure it out. But they're still going and they're still getting in line, so I guess that's fine. Now, I guess that means I could probably, just so we don't, yeah, probably raise this to $5. If the queue is still reasonably full, and it is filling up pretty quickly after the train leaves, I think that's viable. Something we can reasonably do. We might also want to do some more gentle rides at some point, but we are not quite there yet. I know the haunted house enthusiasts would love to see one. What about trying to build one of these? What's the cheapest one? Okay, okay, that's got scenery that's not going to really be great on the lake. If I take the scenery out... Okay, that saves us $600, but it looks kind of heh. And it will actually let me build... Oh, okay. Okay. Now that is an idea. If I put this just right here... I can't get it to go over that. I can get it to go over that. I don't know that I need to be really stacking these like this, though. Now if I rotate... Okay, that just looks ridiculous. Let's see. Okay, I can actually get... Right here. Goes up 1/2 tile, which is the height that I wanted in the first place. But if I stick with this... I think that is probably going to be okay, and it's only 36.58. Yeah, let's take that back to single speed. Gonna go for $4. Let's try that, and then, of course, we have to have all of our paths put back in. I want this to connect in the same kind of... Okay, Hawk's Nest in the way. Here we go. Oh, it's my favorite song. So-and-so in the way. That's in the way. That's not in the way, but that's in the way. Maybe this is why people don't do this. That is kind of the annoying thing about how this is set up, no, isn't it? If I have the exit go to a completely different part of the... I mean, these people are barfing everywhere. If I have to go to a completely different part of the path, then they're not going to want to get back on, and that's not necessarily great, but I don't want it to have a huge queue. So, and I don't think this is going to be that big of a draw where I can justify having a huge, long queue. Because I know it's not going to go that way, which is like not even a purpose in going there, and that's in the way too. Yeah, I know it has no path leading from its exit. Calm down. It's going to be okay. Now, maybe I should have rotated this the other way around, but at this point it's kind of late for that. Because this right here is basically already the length of path that it needs to be. This is going to have to go all the way around. I was going to have to connect there. And then I guess if I'm going to have this just go straight the way across, then I kind of need this to be like that. But they're going to have to come all the way back here, so we're going to need... Well, we don't need. Need is a strong term. We will want something else here. 3D Cinema is kind of a nothing burger. These aren't really much of anything. We already have go-karts. I know some people like to game the game algorithm by just putting a bunch of pirate ships and twists in there. I think we can choose to be not like that. But I do have very limited funds. I mean, they're going to get on it anyway. But it's fine. We just need this to be able to make enough cash to let us build something else. So let's see how this performs. Keep an eye on the throughput here. I would love for this to be closer to 2,000 or 3,000 an hour. I don't know that it will. Okay, that just jumped straight to 1142. It's going to take a little bit for this to, you know, actually level off. I guess we'll find out. Another rainstorm is going to get us some nice cash from the umbrellas. That's always good. Okay, so there it is. Almost 2,000. In terms of profit, not income. Alright, I'm feeling good about this. That seems fine. What is next? Classic mini coaster. Okay, well that's fine, but I'd like the looping one. It would be nice to have that. What about... can I connect these paths here? Would that be worth doing? No, because that's already a no entry. Well, that wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. Let's see, because I know I can have this come through here. That's okay. That's not going to fit there. But I can connect to that way. All right. That no, I wanted to click on the path. There we go. That banner can go away, and now this is just a secondary thing. Okay, that works. Classic mini coaster, yep, that's what it was. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. These aren't bad. If you have a decent one, El Cheapo is, well, it's called El Cheapo because it's $773. It's not a particularly good coaster. See this? I built this one before. It's okay. This is, apparently a decent coaster, but that takes up so much space and doesn't really look that fun. At least this one's got some interesting visual stuff going on. Crazy Caterpillar is slightly better. Was that 4.4? Oh, actually, no, this is 5.1. Nothing. It never stays at that much, but... Can I... maybe? I'm actually surprised at the amount of clearance we have here. I'm going to, try this. Ah, yes. I can only put the entrance in certain spots because of clearance issues. Alright, well, we know the queue's not going to be a problem. I don't think I need to be that worried about it. I do want, I think, 6, maybe 7 tiles there. And that will be a nice exit bit. Let's make this $3. Is probably fine. There we go. We're getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. I'm just waiting for a good centerpiece coaster we can kind of build in the middle or do something around the outside here. We will see. Also not opposed to putting in a big log flume because those can really soak up a whole bunch of guests. Pun intended, I suppose. Let's do some more handymen. Now, mechanics are looking okay. Toward the beginning of year 2, we are not quite halfway to the guest count goal, which I guess is something we should be kind of concerned with. But we'll be okay. Man, they are still getting on these go-karts at $6. Now, this roller coaster at $5, maybe not quite as popular. But it is, you know, it's still leaving with full trains. So I guess theoretically that's not a problem. So long as we can keep the trains full. But maybe we don't want to keep that raised that high for very much longer. I'm going to let that... yeah, I do want to make sure we keep the queues full-ish. I'm going to have to wait until everybody gets through here. I mean, I don't have to. It's just more convenient. Maybe it doesn't matter. Okay, it really doesn't matter. I just don't like seeing all these numbers that are different. Alright, so we'll take that back down to 4. It probably never should have been very high. Yeah, mini suspended coaster is what we just got there. They're still, you know, they're wall-to-wall waiting for this thing, so that's alright. That's doing okay. I mean, honestly, we're looking pretty good. We're not building outside of our means. We haven't increased the loan. The balance sheet's looking pretty good, but I would like to build a big coaster. We still have both of those available. The problem is, I'm going to want a nicer coaster than what most of these are. Water coaster is kind of a nothing burger. I mean, this one's okay. Stand-up shuttle loop. Okay, built that one before. Yeah, you know, I think we're just going to end up waiting, probably. Alright, now what's this got? Come on, tell me it's going to be a roller coaster. Tell me it's going to be a looping coaster, please and thank you. I suppose it's not going to for at least a while, because we did just get this. Okay, so this is not exactly full lines. That's looking fine. That's fine. That's unbelievably fine. Okay, so we're getting a thrill ride. Maybe it'll be a launched free fall or something. That's always a good one. Or the roto drop or whatever the other variant of that is. I got the inverted hairpin. I probably should try to build a steel wild mouse. Flying Dutchman's always a good bet. That is fine as well. Now, I know this is more expensive than what I have the ability to pay for currently. But we're not that far off. If I were able to keep this 5-segment queue should be okay. I just need to get that up to $4,042, which we are very close to. And there we go. Let's take this back down to single speed. I am used to that being on the other side. How many times have I said that? Too many. That can go there, that can go there, that can go there. I think we're going to be pretty okay on that. Let's raise that to $3. And open her on up. We're getting there. And I am keeping this completely straight path, probably all the way to the back side, whenever we decide what kind of cool, huge coaster is going over here. Now we just kind of have to let it do what it's got to do. Swing Inverter Ship is not a terrible ride. I just tend not to get super excited about that stuff. But this may be a good one for us to squeeze in right here. If I had the cash. Let's get this going. Put it in a little bit of turbo mode. Now I trust I'm going to be able to actually do this. Okay, so 3 tiles. If I do this, that should be okay. I'll just leave the cash thing alone, then I've got a little bit of space here. I can put some of these other things if we so choose. Okay, benches as always. Put in some trash cans. Never have too many trash cans. Handymen aren't always getting all of the barf off the ground, but I don't think it's a terrible situation currently. What is next? We've got a roller coaster, 20th of July, so we're not going to find out for a little bit. Let's just get this moving right along here, now that we know everything's going to be fine. And... come on, tell me what it is. Looping coaster, looping coaster. Okay, Wooden Wild Mouse is still fine. That's a decently affordable thing to build. I don't need to have this on super triple all the time, but we're really not making a whole lot of cash right now. At least profit-wise. Alright, so that's alright. Let's take that back off of there. So, July 22nd, we're about halfway-ish through the year. And we're still under 600 guests. We need a bigger, more exciting coaster. And I guess the vertical drop coaster could fit the bill for that, but they are so expensive to build. Mine Train coaster could be another good candidate, but I've never really liked these that much because they kind of have restrictive building practices where you can only have certain size curves. They tend to be pretty expensive for what the excitement rating is. There are some decent ones, but we need something with a really cool excitement rating. Like, I'd love to have something with a 7 or 8 that's actually going to be a 7 or 8 when I build it. Yeah, 7.4 is kind of promising, but that's got an elevated station platform. Yeah, vertical drop coaster might get us there, but it's going to be expensive. And sometimes these just look completely insane. Yeah, the price to feasibility ratio is not very good. They're going feral for these go-karts, man, every time. What kind of cash are we making with this? Okay, 2,000 per hour. 7,000 an hour. Okay, yeah, that's good. 3,000 per hour. This one is at 3,000 per hour. And that is at 7. The go-karts are only at 1,700 an hour, but I always, every time I build it, like, oh, I gotta make some money, let's build go-karts. No, they're cheap to build, at least. Alright, so this is an absolute disaster zone right here. What are you doing, man? Just clean it up. Come on, there you go. I don't want to assign territory to these guys because that ends up glitching out most of the time. What are you going to give me on the 19th of August? We're not going to know for a little bit. So I think I'm just going to put this in turbo mode. Let's see. 'Cause I'd like to have like 10,000 in cash. I know I can take out a loan. Maybe if we don't get any great roller coasters the next 2 research cycles. Maybe that's what we'll have to do. Take out a big loan and build a big vertical drop coaster somewhere. But for now, that's all we can do is wait. Virginia reel? Okay. No, that's not happening. Really, really hoping I could have gotten something better than that. Oh well, life goes on. We have to be running out of roller coasters at some point. We've already, what? It's like, what, 13? Yeah, it's exactly 13. And somehow I can't find anything I actually want to build. Well, Wooden Wild Mouse is still really good. It's just not going to be a big money-making thing. It's not bad. One of these was 7 something. Yeah, there are a couple of these. This Mouse Towers, 7.1. It's not that expensive. Laydown roller coaster. Okay, that's not a bad one. It's not a great one, but it's not a bad one. Let's take a look. I'm going to take that off of turbo mode. See, this guy's got some interesting designs here that some are really expensive, but some honestly aren't that bad. Why do I have 3 versions of Evil Vultures? We have Evil Vultures, we have Flying Coaster 1, and we have this thing. It's like the exact same, it's the exact same coaster. Yeah. It's literally the same. Okay. So 11,397, 11,397, that one's... Oh, because it's got the Q and stuff. And it's got a slightly different size. I'm not in love with the purple, though. We might repaint it. And it seems like it's okay. 6.4. Now, this one at 9.2, but it is $62,000. I don't think that's happening. Yeah, let's go for this. So, I suppose it's about as good of a time as any to just pop that thing out. Now, if I'm going to put a big, like a hero coaster over here, I do want to keep that available. Let's get this to about right here, because I do want to have... Yeah, that would give me 2 tiles in front of here to take care of everything else. That's where they leave. We can't put that in there. Okay, we can put that there. That, I think, is going to be about as good as we're going to get. Alright. I don't want this to be purple. Ooh, saturated red. With a little bit of black. And a little bit of... No, that blends in too much. That's evil. That is somehow worse. I guess we'll just go for saturated red. Why not? Okay, this is gonna have to be a $5 coaster. Have that open, then just build a queue. Now this is one of those things because it hangs down. Oh, okay. I thought that was gonna be an issue. I guess it's not going to be. Just wind this back and forth. I think that should be fine. Then that can go there. Just have this go up. And then you already know where that's going. Bring that to the end of the path. Pop in a bench. Pop in a trash can. Guess I'll put a couple more trash cans in because people are still leaving stuff on the ground. Yeah, we got to get some folks over here. Well, once they see the rating, they'll probably start popping in. There we go. There we go. Just make some good cash. We are, yeah, you know, it's the end of year 2, and we're still less than halfway. I guess we just technically crossed halfway on the guest count. Side friction coaster, really? Okay, I think it's about time to start busting out the log flume and the dinghy. Because each of these scenarios have different guest preferences for ride intensity. And I may have guessed incorrectly on this. Because that's pretty low, relatively. 6.78. That's at 6.47. Flying Dutchman Gold Mine 7.71. But they're okay. That's high. They're still lining up for it. That's fine. Obviously, you know, go-kart's really low, so maybe they just prefer lower intensity rides, and I've kind of missed the boat here. Well, in terms of, you know, soft guest cap, the amount of coasters we've built now should be more than enough for us to get to 1,000. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 decent coasters. Got go-karts. See, I just don't know, man. I am perhaps a little bit out of my element these days with this stuff. I suppose. See, I can't really get under this either is kind of the problem here. Do I trust the process and allow them to research yet another roller coaster that might not be any good? Or do I attempt to branch out into some other stuff? Because we're going to be in some big trouble if we're not over 1,000 guests, at least by the end of March or April. See, people don't want to ride this. Why? Too intense. Not often you hear that about a junior coaster. Okay. So maybe we do need to have more lower intensity rides. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Obviously, the car ride is kind of like a ultimate nothing burger of an attraction here, but the intensity rating is very, very low. And that one has an excitement rating of 4.1. Something tells me it won't be that if I place it down. 3.6. Is there any of these that are higher than that? This is like, forget it. Let's see. Scenery that's unavailable. Yep, where have we seen that one before? I don't like it when they're on the other side of the station. That's kind of... Well, that is only $1,000. That one is, I suppose, probably one of the better ways we're about to be going through this here. I can pop that there, and I can pop that there. Let's just set this up. It is cheap. It is very cheap. So if it turns out this is actually something people care about, we got Cheshire Cats. That's not how that's pronounced. Cheshire. Whatever. Pickup trucks, racing cars, sports cars, vintage cars. 9 cars. 9 cars. 9 cars. 9 cars. Those little, like, K-trucks or something. Oh, did any of these give a boost? No? Okay. These are kind of whimsical, not gonna lie. I kinda like that. Alright, cats it is. Come ride the brown cat on the brown track. I don't want to repaint all the cats necessarily, but... No, that's hideous. Yeah. What about one of these nice pastel colors? Okay, that's kind of ugly. Periwinkle, there you go. That's a cat color. Bobsled coaster. Okay. I guess we just need to monitor the situation with these lower intensity rides and see if guests actually like them at all. Yeah, this is, I mean, the guest count is going up. It's just not going up fast enough. Okay. Well, let's check the feedback. Really good value. Want to go something more thrilling. Okay, well, You can't blame you there. 0.58 is not not exactly intense. Now the bobsled coaster's got some cool stuff, but I do want to maybe keep it a little bit lower intensity. There's not a lot that's that low. This is 4.9 mini bob. Somehow counts as having 0 drops because everything is everything's a helix. Okay, what about... Yeah, this is kind of a nothing burger park, isn't it? What about moving this? I guess I want it to be at the very bottom. 5,400 bucks that I do not have currently. Let's just generate some cash here. And then I want the entrance here. Exit as far down as possible, but I would like to have multiples of 2 in between. Yeah, let's go for that. Mini bob. I'm not going to zigzag this entire thing because that would be kind of obnoxious, but I can have that set up right there. Probably be okay. 2 trains, 8 cars per train. Let's hit go on that. We'll charge $3. Should be basically impossible for this to crash based on how this is set up. And that's probably fine. Benches, trash cans. I mean, things are okay. This is kind of a long queue, honestly. Maybe I should de-zigzag it at some point. Alright, people. Come ride the bobsled coaster. I guess we just have to wait. Yeah, that's fine. Guests are complaining about the disgusting state of the paths in the park. Well, you know, that's what happens when you barf everywhere. I do have 5 handyman. I probably should have more. But I'd rather not spend that money on handyman when I could spend it on roller coasters. Or something else. I am shocked at how few thrill rides we have compared to roller coasters. Heartline Twister. Okay, you're done. No more roller coasters. No more roller coasters. It is April. I still don't have 800 guests. The scenario goal is 13. And I have not failed one of these scenarios ever since starting this series. And I don't think today is going to be the day. But that will require at some point saying, okay, we just need to have an advertising campaign for the park. And that does give a nice boost to people coming in, but it doesn't last forever, so it should be timed appropriately. We got 4 weeks in a month, more or less. Technically 4.5. But max I can do is 12 weeks. It's already April. I might actually want to go ahead and do one of these. For 12 weeks is $4,200. I do not have $4,200. Let's do 4 weeks for now, and see what that does to our guest count. Because 4 weeks from now will be May 10th-ish. It doesn't exactly line up, but at that point, if I need to do to be all the way to the very end of the scenario, the end of October, September, August, July, I'd have to start sometime in July. Which does give me a little bit of time between now and then. But basically all we can do now is just kind of wait. Okay, that is a lot of barf. That's actually really bad. I do have a handyman who is sweeping. Oh, bless this poor soul, having to clean all this barf up. Have they desecrated my trash cans yet? It doesn't seem like they have. That's a lot of vomit. Well, that is increasing the guest count, and if when they get here they find something they'd like to do, then I guess that's good. I just, I don't have enough staff. Okay, $410 a month. No, that's nothing. Let's go up to 10 handymen. Just try to reduce the odds of that being a disaster. What are we researching here? Thrill ride or gentle ride? We can also put in a log flume. Or a dinghy slide. I'm kind of tempted to just do log flume. This is probably a safe bet. Logger's Revenge is a decent design. That one, 5.6 with an intensity of 2.6. Yeah, I think this might be the ticket here. It's 0275. Yeah, but that is... I mean, I've got some headroom. I don't want it to be constantly maxed out. That is not a good way to go through life. Do I maybe want that not over here? Do I want it closer to the entrance? I did say at some point I was going to maybe put a train around, but it's already the end of April, and we're nowhere close to being good enough here, so I probably shouldn't be worried about that. Let's do this. Let's turn this that way. Let's leave space for that path to go out. And I guess if this is that's the entrance to their... Because remember, log flumes can actually hold a pretty large quantity of guests. We probably shouldn't be that worried about it. If this is... I think that lines up. Let's try and get the queue in. No, not there. Not there. Come on. There you go. Yeah, I am going to want them to have... Maybe not quite all of this. Yeah, let's leave space there. I think this is probably about as good as we're going to get. 12 boats might be enough. If you have too many boats, then they can't get back to the station, but this is a long station. I'm going to say let's go for 16. Let's go for $3. Let's make sure we got a couple of benches. Trash can. I can have this come around here if I want to. I think this is probably okay. What are we researching? Gentle ride. Okay, we already knew that. Come on. And we should be just about done with that advertising campaign here in just a little bit. And it so far has gained us about 100 guests in 4 weeks. No, it's not... Hey, Crooked House. Okay, well that could be a decent substitute for a haunted house, maybe. Okay, we have 1 week remaining. I guess that's actually pretty good then. Alright, Crooked House. It's your time to shine. Where can I shove this thing? Okay, that doesn't really fit, does it? See, that's not good. What about right here? That will let me build right there, maybe? This really doesn't need a queue, but I will put a tile in. That's fine. We'll have that come through there. Oh, I forgot to change the supports to the metal railing. Oh well. Okay, so the advertising campaign for the park finished, and we got about 120, 130 guests out of it in a month. That's not bad. You know, it's not bad. It's not great, but I think it's probably all right. 16 boats may not really be enough. I guess we'll see. I still, you know, it's the end of May, and I still don't have 1,000 guests. So I think we're just gonna have to play the advertising game, folks. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna go for the full 12 weeks. I don't have any free tentacles to give out. That seems to always work well. Maybe we just need to, you know, put a little bit more into some of these gentle rides. We've got 5 people on there. What's the maximum on there? Oh, 5 guests. All right. Oh, that's fine. Got a little bit more stuff I could put over here. Alright, now what are they going to give me for a gentle ride on the 11th of June? Okay, there's your haunted house. Alright, well, we have to build that. That's not optional. But I am going to grow kind of concerned about the end of this scenario if we don't get more guests pretty soon. Alright. Haunted house time. You already know how this works. This is another scenario where I'm just going to pop this in here. Single queue. All the way down. And there you go. Okay, throughput of the boats seems to be actually doing okay. This is massively popular. Okay, really good value is fine. I guess I could charge more for it. But I'm kind of reluctant. Okay, let's try 4 because I do need to finance some of this stuff. Let's see if we can get these people in here, or keep them in here rather. All right, now what are they going to cook up for gentle rides or thrill rides this time? Sitting in June. Still haven't cracked 1,000 guests. Okay, gentle ride. So it does seem to be the lower intensity rides. Not a lot I can really do about lower intensity with roller coasters, because some of these just, because of the way they're set up, are kind of impossible to avoid. Virginia Reel is always going to be kind of intense because of the way it goes around the corners. Wild Mouse rides are always going to be intense. Mini suspended coaster, no, those are still kind of high. 8.3, I don't think so. Water coaster, I've never really thought was of anything. See, these are just, they're going to be intense. They're going to be intense. Side friction? Nope, nope, that's not going either. What a pain this is. Now, El Cheapo does stand on its own as a ride that is in demand. It's not really gaming the system if it's something that actually works. Just on its own merit. Why don't we why don't we put one of these in here just to see? Can I get this to sit over here? No? Okay, well, what I'm going to do is change that. And I guess bring this around to this side. This does multiple laps, or it can. I'm going to do 2 laps. That makes it kind of a compelling ride. I don't know that I can justify charging $2 for it. We'll go $1. I did name it El Cheapo after all. And we'll see who actually wants to ride this thing. Probably not a ton of folks, but how is the intensity on this 4.99? Maybe it's because the curves at the higher speed here. Anyway, whatever. They'll ride it. I just saw something that Mini Bob was broken down. Okay, we need more mechanics that might be contributing to problems. We are still not over 1,000 guests. Man, I don't know what else I can do. It is 1,300, right? Uh-oh. I don't know what else I can do. We've built a pretty good amount of stuff. Oh, don't make me save this scenario with spiral slides. That seems almost illegal. Go-karts are still packed out. Alright, well, you know the drill. If it's stupid and it works, then, you know, it still works. So why don't we take a sledgehammer to our pride here and just build another go-kart track. No, not that direction. There we go. I'll give it a nice long queue, because apparently that's all anybody wants to do with the go-karts is just wait. 3 laps. Let's go for 2. It doesn't necessarily have to make a ton of money. It just has to, you know, get people in the door. I mean, it's something. It's a 7-passenger go-kart thing. Okay, well, let's spiral slide. I guess I'm gonna have to build a spiral slide. This does not need a queue because you can have this single admission. You have 5 people on the ride. I think that's fine for $1.50. People will do that. Yeah, see, there you go. And mind you, this is also with the advertising campaign for the park. So I don't know why these people aren't showing up. Okay, what was that message I completely ignored? Complaining about the length of queues. It's probably for the go-karts. I've been queuing for ages. Well, we have a couple of options. Option 1, brain rot. Option 2, guy in a panda suit. Option 3, Mr. Bones. Can I build partly above, partly below water? Aha. Alright, well, Mr. Bones is here to, you know, spread demonic cheer, or whatever glowing skeleton stuff happens. Yeah, see, El Cheapo, I'm telling you, El Cheapo just works, man. It just goes. They want to get on the ladybug cars and scream their lungs out. Yeah, the log flume is what the log flume is. They're probably complaining about this too, yep. Alright, well, you'll be happy to know that there is room for another Mr. Bones. So, there you go. Have a Mr. Bones. And I guess you can also have some brain rot there. Get your fix of whatever garbage is on those TVs. Alright, so that's doing what it's doing. Still not 1,100 guests. It is July 26th. We are going to be in trouble. Okay. Nobody's on Flying Coaster 1. Alright, Flying Coaster 1, you are now on a, let's call it an 8-week advertising campaign. So that'll get us through August and September, mostly. Then we might have to do at the very end a pull out all the stops kind of situation. Oh, and of course it broke down as soon as I started advertising it. Okay. What am I to... Like, I feel like this is a good enough amount of stuff to beat this scenario. Just the guests are not coming in. They're not sticking around. Now, you can try to promote people, you know, coming in here more, sticking around more based on lowering prices, which I guess I will go ahead and do for some of these. Especially these that are having problems getting people in queue. Because, you know, every guest only comes in with a certain amount of money. You click on one of them. Oh, wow, they only came in with $50? Okay, so maybe we've got some people here that don't have a lot of spending power. But obviously the $6 go-karts are fine. What am I charging for this? $5. Okay, maybe I need to lower this one too. Let's go down to 4. What am I charging for this? $2.50? $4. Well, I mean, the thing is maxed out, so I guess that's fine. We're just now getting to 1,100 guests. I don't want to have to resort to the nobody's allowed to leave thing. Even though it's not technically cheating, it's a thing the game allows you to do. Okay, we're researching the circus. We were really scraping the bottom of the barrel here. Do I build a dinghy slide? I mean, it's a low intensity rating. I do not like that station being at the very top. Demon Drop has got a kind of a high one. These are all kind of high. Okay, that goes all the way down. Well, It's not the worst thing ever, but I kind of don't want to mess with that. Maybe I shouldn't have talked trash about the, what kind of a name is this? Design includes scenery, which is unavailable. Well, Mr. Bones would fit in perfectly fine with this one. I guess. You know, why not? Why not? Let's build let's build a ride called River of the Damned. All right. That's that is certainly a choice. Ah, yes. Rafts. Yeah, I had no idea that's what you'd be using for this. No, not one clue that rafts would be what would go on the River Rafts ride. Okay, boys and girls. These are not in the same spot I thought they would be in. Let's swap locations here. Alright, I need to move the exit to here and the entrance to here because I need the entrance to kind of double back. Yeah, see that was only going to work in very specific scenarios. Alright, so that here, it's about as good as we're going to get. Let's bring this all the way over. We're, at this point, just fighting for survival. Don't need to worry about path layout being super optimal. There you go. River of the Damned. What kind of marketing is this? So I'm going to connect this all the way out to, I suppose, right here? Yeah. And then I will just have, I think that's going to line up perfectly if I just come straight out to here. Yeah, there we go. So yes, we will be putting Mr. Bones in here. So yeah, welcome Mr. Bones. That is kind of a messed up looking skull, but there you go, there's Mr. Bones. Okay, almost 1150 guests. That, you know, that's promising. It's not really great, but it is promising if we're going to get to 1300 by the end. Got a little bit of space here. I don't have a lot of good options for any of this. Is there going to be any of these that are going to have a low enough intensity rating? I mean, cheesy mice might be nice. This has the ability for us to build what we want here. I think I can get away putting that there. Let's move the entrance to be... Oh, it can't fit there. Okay. Oh, it's my favorite song. Alright. What did I get myself into? Can I build this, or is there terrain in the way? Well, get out your shovel. You saw the movie holes. Just start digging, and all your problems will go away. To this day, that remains one of the best book adaptations I remember ever seeing. Well, that's what happens when you have the author of the book and the production committee. Pop these trash cans in. I think... Yeah, that's fine. I just need a lower intensity ride to get these people in the door. I really wish I had at least a launched freefall or something. They're just... Really? Like the circus? Come on, man. Like, this is like the eternal joke ride. Like, nobody ever cares about this. Well. Desperate times call for desperate measures. I wanted this to be... There we go. I wanted this to actually be a scenario that would go reasonably well, but it seems this is not quite been as good as I wanted. Well, away we go. 3D cinema. Another kind of Hail Mary type ride you build when you're just completely out of ideas. I guess we can just pop that in there. Mouse tails. Then this I will just have go all the way out that way. Kind of wanted that to attach to that segment there, but I don't think it really matters. It's already got that. It's already got that. Well, we're over 1,200, so I guess we're not going to be in danger of this actually going poorly. I can only imagine what the decoration was going to be for this that it said it couldn't do. Maybe it's got... well, no, I've got spooky theming, so what else... What else, like, would this give? Is there, like... I don't know. Okay, advertising campaign for the park finished. We're probably going to have to start another one of those basically immediately. We only need, I think, 8 weeks-ish. Yeah. Okay, free food. What are we doing free food? Drinks, burgers, pizza. How about some free pizza? Who doesn't want free pizza? Come on down to the child casino and get rat pizza. I hate that I wasn't able to really build into these cool coasters, but I guess the guests just really don't care. Everything else seems to be going okay. I mean, the go-karts are still absolutely raking in cash. Alright, what is this guy? A knight? There you go. Well, this is called Castle Carts. Guess what, buddy? This is your new home. You are to entertain everyone in the go-karts queue, and that is your job. What did we, space rings? Ugh. That was one of the worst rides in the game. Well, we got to 1,300 guests. I wish I could say I was a little happier with how this has gone, but... You know, it is what it is. Not every park can be something that's really super awesome. Sometimes you just have to have a, thing that's going to get you to the end of the scenario. I do think, I mean, park ratings at 999, I don't think I really need to be that worried about people complaining about the paths. But we do probably have just a little bit too much to feel happy about it. Okay, these guys are all engaged in some sort of activity. Let's just double the staff. We're at 1,400 guests, so I suppose it's probably about to be all she wrote. So I appreciate you guys watching these series. I know, you know, could always be a little bit better, but I still have a whole lot of fun playing this game, and I really appreciate those of you who support the channel with the memberships and everything so that we can, quote-unquote, justify from a business perspective not playing the Beaver game every day. So I really do appreciate each and every one of the people on the Beard Booster list, and I appreciate you for watching these videos, because I like this game, you like this game, and, you know, it's great to be able to still play this 26, 27 years later for some of these scenarios. So now all we have to do is finish this scenario, put our name on the board, and then that's going to be all she wrote. All right. And there we go. We did it with 1,500 something guests and a company value of $265,600. On the list we go. And off you go. Have a fantastic rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you again soon. Take care, friends. Bye-bye.